This Voice Registry podcast is brought to you by VoiceBank.net. Hi, everyone, and welcome. I'm Tracy Pattin, and I have Kate Mcall here all the way from Wales. She's producer-director for BBC Radio. Welcome, Kate.
Thank you.
And you just finished here at Video Box Studios directing The Highest Tide, the radio play. How'd that go?
It went very, very well. We had a wonderful, wonderful cast.
And I luckily was able to sit in, and it was so wonderful to watch you work and watch your way of directing. So what is your method with directing?
Well, it really depends. I mean, in this case, we had the lead actor in the piece, as you know, is a 13-year-old boy.
Yes.
Who actually has done an amazing job.
Forrest Landis.
I suppose, with a child of that age, the temptation always for them is to speak too quickly.
Yeah.
To rush through things because they've got lots and lots of energy. So the challenge is to just get them to slow down enough and to think their way through the piece enough. And I think you witnessed that, once Forrest got that message, and once he started to really think about what he was saying, and get the emotion into every line, he was just amazing. I mean, he had all of us in tears.
Exactly.
More than one point.
Exactly. And what I found amazing with you and Forrest was how you worked as a team, and how what you did and what you didn't do was you didn't talk down to him. And you had this amazing way of explaining things so clearly. I kept thinking, as a voice actor myself, how much I would love a director like you to explain things in such a way that it made it, I just thought you made it an easy process for him.
Well, that's very kind of you to say, but he's certainly a very intelligent boy.
Yeah, absolutely.
He was very, very focused.
Yes.
And he absolutely listened to everything that I said, and he tried to do it, and he did do it.
And for all of the voice actors that are listening, we all know that the key to voice acting, whatever you're doing, is listening. You really have to listen to the director, right? And that's what he did.
He certainly did, yeah, and he's really delivered the goods. So I'm going home very, very happy.
I can't wait to hear this. Let me just ask you, and I know with the BBC Radio, you do a lot of radio plays in England, and you use a lot of British actors, and it's very exciting that you come to the States and you use American actors. So how do you find them?
A mixture of things, but I suppose the first time I came to the States to do a play was about 6 years ago, and somebody put me in touch with Susan Lowenberg
from LA Theatre Works.
LA Theatre Works, and she has been a huge help in finding, the right actor for the right part. So there's a lot of discussion between the two of us. I sent her the script and little kind of notes on the characters, and she originally found Forrest for me for an earlier production.
Okay.
So Forrest was in a play that we did a few years ago, when he was about 9, I think. So this time I needed a 13-year-old, and I thought, well, actually, Forrest is about that age now. So I actually called his agent from London, and she got Forrest on the phone. So we sort of did a bit of a phone audition, although he might not have realised that was what was
So you
going
just
on.
wanted to hear him on the phone?
Yes, and I heard his voice, and I thought that's exactly the voice that I want.
What do you look for in terms of talent? What kind of voice actors do you look for?
A whole range, really. I mean, in a piece like this where there's quite a few characters, but we can't afford, for budget reasons, to have every single voice a separate actor. So it's very, very helpful to have, some actors who can do a range of voices.
So that's a plus for radio plays
Absolutely.
in general?
Absolutely.
Okay. Like David Selby.
David Selby is an absolute master at this. He can be anybody at any age.
And it was so exciting in the read-through, to watch the read-through, which I always find very thrilling, to see this piece come to life, and to watch him doing his multiple roles and see what he does physically just at the read-through.
Completely, yes. He just inhabits each character, whether it was the sort of the slightly bumbling elderly professor at 1 minute, and then the much younger sort of kind of working class dad. The next, and then a few minutes later he's being a reporter. And he could just bring a different voice to each of those roles so effortlessly.
Well, your career producing and directing for BBC Radio must be just so fascinating. I mean, just watching you this week, it just looks like an amazing. Well, you do an amazing job. I mean,
I'm very, very lucky to have such a fascinating job.
And you're great at it.
Well, that's very kind of you to say.
Would love to be directed by you any day.
Thank you.
And speak to the whole thing about the upswing in radio plays in England. Talk about that.
Well, it's all very healthy, I'd say, in England. The amount of, the radio listening is certainly holding steady and increasing. And you can listen to a radio play every single day. And most days, actually, you can listen to 2. So that's a lot of radio drama.
And do they have the audiences? They have obviously they must.
Oh, absolutely. And they're a very vocal audience. They write in, they
ring.
They let you know, they post things on the BBC message boards. And every play that goes out on Radio 4, which is the main network that I'm making plays for, everything is on the internet for the following week.
Which is fantastic. So we can all in the States listen.
Yeah, absolutely. And you can listen live as well if you can be, out of bed at the right time.
Right. And which, speaking of that, the Highest Tide airs June 4th.
Yes.
I'm not sure about the time. Is it going to be in the... Well, they can go to the internet, go to BBC Radio. They can Google BBC Radio.
So it's www.bbc.co.uk.
Okay.
That's the main website. And then you just follow the links to radio and then Radio 4 and then look for the afternoon play.
Okay, fantastic.
You'll find it there.
Well, Kate, thank you so much. Have a great trip back to Wales. What a fabulous place to live.
Yes, because I work in BBC Wales, which is a very exciting place to be, the home of Doctor Who and Torchwood.
Oh, fabulous.
And we produce about 20 hours of radio there every year.
So you're going back to a lot of projects in addition to this one for editing.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Well, listen, it was great to talk to you, and thanks for being here, and we will listen to The Highest Tide.
Thank you very much.
This Voice Registry podcast was brought to you by VoiceBank.net. Join us next time.